you so much. All right, let's get perspective now from somebody in the medical field. Dr. Hamish Adalja. Say it again? Hamish Adalja is a senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins University Center for Health Security. I was determined to get your name right tonight, and I screwed it up again. I am so sorry. Dr. Adalja, thank you for being here. Okay, you're a doctor. RFK Jr. testified today that he didn't know how many Americans died from COVID. He didn't know whether vaccines prevented any COVID deaths. Haven't there been hundreds of studies and reports that have tracked all that since 2021? Independent studies?
There have been countless numbers that have shown how effective COVID vaccines were at preventing death. Some of them are modeling studies, but we have raw data, and we can really just open our eyes and remember what the hospitals were like in December of 2020, January 2021, when they were busting at the seams, and then all of a sudden they weren't. What changed was the vaccine was getting into the arms of high-risk individuals. And Secretary Kennedy is the head of Health and Human Services. He has that data at his fingertips. He's not just some person on the internet talking about this. He's the Secretary of Health and Human Services. He should have that data. He should have it down pat. He should have it memorized, because it's one of the greatest achievements of the Department of Health and Human Services was the rollout of the COVID vaccine in Operation Warp Speed during the first Trump administration.
RFK Jr. also repeatedly said under questioning that anybody who wants a COVID vaccine can still get it. Is that true?
No, it's not true, because what we've found out is that many pharmacies where pharmacists are giving the vaccines, not a doctor, not a nurse, but a pharmacist, they're restricted by state regulations to what ACIP, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, recommends. ACIP has not made a recommendation since it's been reconstituted with RFK's cronies. So they are basically paralyzed. People can go into certain states, around 15 or so states, and they're not able to get the COVID vaccine, even if they're in a high-risk group, just because there's so much regulatory uncertainty right now. So when he's saying that, it's not actually true. It's disingenuous, because people are trying to get the vaccines and aren't. And we're seeing governors struggle to quickly change their laws and their regulations to get around all of the obfuscation and mistakes that RFK Jr.'s policies are making.
Right. We should point out that 90% of Americans get their COVID vaccine from the pharmacy. So that's the vast majority. RFK Jr. also said that he fired the director of the CDC because she wasn't honest. Susan Menares is someone he championed to lead the CDC just a few weeks earlier. As we just covered, Menares wrote today in the Wall Street Journal that she was fired for refusing to pre-approve whatever RFK's handpicked vaccine committee recommends in a few weeks from now. She wrote that, quote, once trusted experts are removed, advisory bodies are stacked, results are predetermined. This isn't reform, it's sabotage. Do you agree? That's pretty harsh, sabotage.
I do. I think that he's basically destroyed the CDC. This is something that he had telegraphed for years before. He had talked about the CDC being the equivalent of a Nazi death camp, which is then not surprising that somebody unloaded 500 bullets into the CDC when you have that kind of rhetoric. So I think he is there to destroy the whole entire public health and infectious disease infrastructure. This is a person who doesn't believe in the germ theory of disease. If you don't believe in the germ theory of disease, what value is he going to see in vaccines or anything else that the CDC does? He is there to turn it into an organ of anti-vaccine propaganda, and he's successfully doing so. Step by step, he is turning all of our federal agencies into anti-vaccine propaganda machines.
Yeah, we should point out, his fans point out to the fact that there are a lot of health concerns. Chronic disease is high. Almost half of Americans are obese. Rates of diabetes have gone up. Life expectancy is slightly down in the last 20 years. We're spending more than ever on health care. Stuff needs to be fixed. There definitely needs to be change. The question is, what is that change? You argue compellingly tonight, as did many of the senators on both sides of the aisle today, that perhaps this might not be it. Dr. Hamish Adalja, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your expertise tonight.
Thanks.
All right, coming up for us.